Alright, so, at the time of recording, it is October 6th, 2022, and New York Comic Con has officially begun. And along with it, Tamashii Nations has opened their Dragonball booth. And so, just like last year, I decided to take the time and go over all the things that have been shown so far. Of course, about a week ago, Tamashii Nations on their official Instagram page revealed that there are 3 more figures, well, at least 3 more figures coming for the Dragonball Super Superhero line. Of course, as you can probably see, a lot of people were debating and discussing what they believe the 3 figures to be, but the only confirmation we had was that we would get some information revealed now at Comic-Con. Well, we did. But before we get into Dragon Ball Super Superhero, there was one other reveal that was teased before the event. That reveal being the 3rd form Frieza figure that was teased in this showing right here, with this blacked out silhouette, that has now been shown. Here it is. So, of course, with the Namek Saga line going on in the Figuarts line for the past, has it been over a year, 2 years? I don't know. With that whole line going on, people have been, for a long time, wanting more Frieza forms. Of course, back in 2020, we got first form Frieza for the first time, and just a little while ago, we also got second form Frieza. Well, surprise, surprise, here is 3rd form Frieza. And I say surprise sarcastically, but I am actually fairly shocked that we got it this soon after 2nd form. I'm pleasantly surprised, and I'm glad that we've finally gotten through all the forms, but, you know, surprised nonetheless. There's been a little bit of discourse, I'd say, about the scaling of this figure, because many are saying that he seems too short, or too small. And well, actually, I really don't have much of an opinion on this. For how little time he spent in the series, my memories of the size of 3rd form Frieza are fairly vague. I did just look at it a few minutes ago to double check, and maybe he's a bit too small. I'd have to go look at the manga to be more certain. But overall, it's not an inaccurate depiction, and other than the potential scaling issues, it looks like a very good sculpt, like a very accurate figure. I saw some people saying that this was probably based off of the one frame. I mean, this image is basically set up the same way the one frame from Dragon Ball Super Broly is, and if this figure is based off of that depiction, then the scaling is actually quite accurate, because 3rd form Frieza was shown to be quite a bit smaller than 2nd form, and not too much bigger than final form Frieza in that frame of Dragon Ball Super Broly. But anyway, overall, I'm quite excited that we've actually gotten all the big major forms of Frieza so far. Of course, we still need Mecha Frieza, 100% full power, and the eventual Black Frieza from the manga. But for the big evolutionary steps in the original Dragon Ball manga and anime, we basically have each iteration now. But with Frieza out of the way, what I really want to talk about right now is him. I almost just called him the man. The Namekian. The one and only. This one... of all the things we've seen from Comic-Con so far, this is definitely, this year, my personal favorite. I'm very happy to see this. Really, the only major thing I can say about this is I just want it to be released. I just want this as soon as possible. And I think, when it comes to this image here, while it's not super clear, and I'll get into it, I think the big 3 releases they were showing here are definitely going to be that orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, and then maybe Broly, which I'll get into in a little bit. But the big thing, seeing this figure made me really happy today. I knew it was going to happen. The main thing is just it looks really good. There is another display image. I think I'll put that up on screen, because they had all these figures up on display. I'll probably try and put the display images up with the figures as well, so we can get another look. But no, the figure looks great. It's hard to tell how the scaling is and everything. Hopefully he's big. He seems big. I also kind of said the last time the other Piccolo figure seemed way taller, and that was more proportioning. It's actually about the same height as it. Anyway, I'm hoping this figure is big. This is Ed from the future coming in here. I actually just remembered that we do know that this Piccolo figure is actually going to be pretty big. We know that during the live stream, they mentioned that he will be around 7 inches tall, if I remember correctly. So there we have it. This will be a pretty big figure. But other than that, it looks really cool. The leg articulation system seems interesting. It looks to be the new, I'm gonna keep calling it 3.0 style of leg articulation that was introduced with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the Krillin, and the new Ultimate Gohan. and it looks really nice. It seems to fit. It looks quite bulky. The whole figure looks very meaty, got a lot of mass to it, and I'm very happy about that. The one interesting thing I saw people talking about, there's been speculation surrounding how exactly the torso is going to function, because as we can see here, there doesn't seem to be any cut for articulation in the actual gi piece, but it looks like there might be in the actual torso piece under. So what some have been speculating is that it seems that the actual torso will articulate, but the gi piece might be made of a more malleable material, allowing it to bend around the articulation. Of course, again, that's just speculation. I don't think there's been any confirmation or comment on that by Tamashii, so it looks like we'll just have to wait and see. But really, I'm just loving the way this figure looks. I mean, it seems to be a really accurate depiction of the way Orange Piccolo looked in the movie. There are obviously differences with just the way this movie is stylized. Like certain things in the line art might be different in the movie and that kind of thing, but overall, this, I think, really captures the likeness of Orange Piccolo, and I just can't wait to see the way this looks posed on display with everything else. I'm just really loving the way this figure looks. Everything about it just seems really nice so far. I'm liking the style. Only real thing I have to know here is that this is 100% based off of the depiction in the movie itself and not Toriyama's original art, because in the movie, as you can see on the belt turned black when Piccolo became Orange Piccolo, while in the art that Toriyama has drawn for Orange Piccolo, he kept the belt red. That's just a little detail thing. I just hope this comes out as soon as possible, to be honest. The one thing I'm really wondering about is the price, because this is clearly going to be a larger figure, and Figuarts has a tendency to mark quite a high price for larger figures. And I have a feeling that's going to be the case here. Part of me is hoping it's still going to be a reasonable price, like the rest of the superhero line, but it'll definitely be more expensive than the other figures we've gotten so far. Other than maybe Gamma 1 and 2, my big thing is that with how Orange Piccolo is depicted in the film, I can't think of many accessories they'd give this figure, especially as far as expressions go, and so I don't think there's enough that could come with this figure to warrant a higher price point, unless this figure maybe comes bundled in with that little Pan figure we've been seeing, which that would actually be cool. I'd be fine with that, because I don't see Pan releasing with anything else other than maybe a Gohan Beast. But yeah, I really don't have much else to say about this Piccolo beyond me gushing over how I think it looks. Overall, yeah, I just really can't wait for it. Is there anything else that I could possibly say about this figure? My back squats at the gym today actually went kind of crazy because I was thinking about Orange Piccolo. Just thought that might be something you'd be interested to know. But yeah, moving on. So, the reveal I thought I'd be the most surprised by, but ended up actually being the third most surprising to me, is Broly. And the funniest thing is, the other day, when I was looking again at that image of Gamma 1 and 2 and the 3 other potential superhero figures, I asked a friend of mine who is not a huge Dragon Ball fan what he thought the third figure was going to be, and he said Broly. And in my head, it was like, obviously potential, right? Obviously possible. He's a character in the movie, and it's Broly. Broly will always sell well, but I was like, I don't think they'll do it. Not with the 2 Broly's they already released before, and the event-exclusive Broly here. I felt like, that's a lot of the 2 Super Broly specifically, not the 3 other Z Brolys. I was like, that's a lot of figures. I don't know if they'll do it. And lo and behold, here it is. Now, what I will say is that the original post that Tamashii put of those 3 mystery figures has become a lot more confusing now, because they haven't confirmed what is considered one of the figures in there or not, because this is the only superhero figure shown here that actually has the official, promo image, where this Broly is just like on display, and there's no confirmation of what counts as one of those 3 mystery figures or not, because again, there's no Pan there. There's a couple other things to talk about, but we'll see. What I'm thinking is, right now, I think it's safest for me to assume that this Broly is one of those 3 figures, and that the other 2 are, again, Orange Piccolo and Gohan Beast. But anyway, let's actually get into the figure now. So, of course, as a superhero figure, this is Broly as he was seen in the movie. Meaning that this is, of course, base Broly, which technically we did get the base Broly head on the other Broly figure, the Ikari Broly. However, as many people have pointed out over time, and is very clear, that figure is way too buff and large to be just base Broly. It is Ikari Broly, or it is Ikari and Super Saiyan Broly, which are both much buffer than Broly is in his base form. So here, as we can see, this is a much slimmer figure compared to the other Brolys. So of course, this is the New York Comic Con exclusive Broly figure, the event exclusive for New York Comic Con this year. And as we can see, this figure is a lot more buff than the other Broly, and way too buff to be a base Broly. And of course, the original release of this figure had both the Ikari head sculpt with the hair up and the hair down base head sculpt, and it just didn't fit quite right with the size. So this figure looks really cool to me, by the way. Like I really like the green glow. I think some people were complaining about it. I think it depended. Some people really loved the way this looked. Some people didn't. I mean, always happens. Hey, this person was right. Base form Broly. This is a much slimmer figure, and I really like that face sculpt. That looks to be a really accurate face sculpt to me. I'm actually, it's very nice. Anyway, the one thing that I find kind of off about this figure is the torso. We have like the skin tight black suit part, and all fine, whatever, it's display, the lights are kind of weird, but I'm really kind of thrown off by the butterfly joint. The cut by the shoulders there, it looks really like choppy. I don't think it meshes very well. It's not very smooth. This is a prototype, of course. Maybe that'll look different, because this does look to be a super cool figure. If this is another, less expensive superhero figure, I would definitely pick this up. I don't have a Broly figure, and I would definitely get this. And I actually, funnily enough, I do kind of prefer getting base form figures of characters a lot of the time. I think the versatility of that is just much higher. Anyway, I'm hoping that the butterfly joint part looks nicer, gets like reworked before this figure gets released, as I'm assuming it will. And like the butterfly joint doesn't even look very useful the way it's cut in there. I'm just hoping that it improves and changes, and as a prototype, it probably will. I am rambling at this point. Overall, this face sculpt seems pretty accurate. I'd say, like, with how little Broly appeared in Super Hero, they may have also just used Dragon Ball Super Broly as another reference for his face sculpt. But either way, I am really liking the way the figure looks, hoping it gets announced, all that jazz. Let's move on to, as I brought up before, the two figures that managed to surprise me more than Broly. I don't even, like, know how to begin to, like, explain this, the surprise. Anyway, this is Cheelai, and this is Lemo. Two characters I am surprised. Well, like, it's hard. Because the thing is, these are display figures here, of course, for the event. And display figures, we often hope, become actual release figures later. However, a lot of them don't. Like, we have a lot of past examples. We have the old Champa and Vados, Jocko, the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, a lot of old versions of figures that got changed before they came out. A lot of times figures that are shown at events don't end up becoming figures or have not become figures yet. Some of these get revamped or changed into different looking figures, like the original Super Saiyan God figure that was shown eventually became the Super Saiyan God figure we have now, or the old Yamcha and Tien figures they showed eventually became Saiyan Saga figures, and then Android Saga figures of the two were shown, and then Tien's was released, and Yamcha's isn't, and I'm really still waiting for that. But I'm just very surprised to see these two. I mean, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. Like, I really like seeing side characters as figures. I think I may have talked about it before, but I'm of the opinion that I would really love to have every character as a figure. Obviously, like, there's limits to that. But, like, if I could just get every character in Dragon Ball as a figure, I would take it if I had the money to pay for that. But I'm just very surprised we're seeing these two before a lot of other figures. Of course, like, a lot of ones that fans have been crying out for a long time, like Kid Buu, Videl, Goten and Trunks. And that right there is actually a good point. I'm kind of surprised that we are seeing these two as opposed to Goten and Trunks as they were seen in the movie. I really like the way Goten and Trunks look in the movie, especially, I mean, a lot of it's just the positive feelings I'm getting from the fact that they've grown up, but I would have really liked to see those two. However, that doesn't take anything away from the fact that these are also really cool to see. Let's, like, oh, my thoughts are a mess. I'm all a jumble. The way these are presented to, the overall articulation actually do remind me a lot of Jocko. Just from the overall, I guess, like the purple and, like, the skinnier design. It's kind of surprising we never got that Jocko figure. Maybe someday. Yeah, so let's actually talk about the two figures now for a minute. Of course, here first we have Cheelai, who first appeared in Dragon Ball Super Broly, which I think the fact that they've appeared in 2 movies now kind of also really raised their chances of becoming figures because they're repping more than just one thing. But yeah. Overall, I mean, kind of hard to tell with, like, the face, like, the image is slightly blurry here, and, I can only assume this is a really early prototype, not because of, like, any quality thing, but because I can't imagine them putting Cheelai and Lemo before a lot of other figures that they'd be making, so, you know, really hard to tell if this is anything near what a final product would be. The sculpting seems pretty good. I mean, it seems fairly accurate. The articulation is a bit, I'm not gonna say worrisome, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be the best style. It seems almost like a lot of 1.0 style articulation almost, kind of more in that vein. But if it works, like, if the articulation is good and, like, it doesn't look bad and everything, then, I mean, I don't mind that it's going to be different. It's all about getting that balance between looks and function. And if this looks good and functions just fine, it's perfectly fine. Especially, like, with the actual body and stature of the characters being a lot different from the other Dragon Ball figures that they usually release. Now I'm thinking, I'm surprised we've never gotten a Kaba. Anyway. So overall, yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Some, like, again, the articulation stuff, I hope if this becomes a figure, turns out okay. The elbows and the knees, particularly. A lot of the connecting joints. I don't know, man. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. But the other one here to look at is Lemo. And this one I think is a lot easier to tell. This definitely looks like Lemo. You can tell in the face sculpt, that's, you know, that's how Lemo was depicted in the movie. All the same things I'll say about articulation, you know, seems quite basic. Great for what the figure is, I can only assume. But yeah, these two are another, like, pair of figures where it's like, I can't think of many accessories they would give these two. So either these will be two very inexpensive releases, or what I'm now thinking would be very interesting is that these could actually possibly be a package release. I think the best route to go for these two would be to put them bundled together into one. Hopefully not too expensive. I mean, even as a package release, I don't think the two could come with enough to justify a high price, but I would still like to see these two released, and I feel like that would be the most interesting way to go about it. But yeah, again, honestly, to wrap up my thoughts, it's just, I was very surprised to see these two. It was super interesting to me. I can't believe it's already been almost 4 years since Broly came out. And so, yeah, I mean, these have been characters for that long, so maybe after Superhero we can start to see them in more things since they're sticking around with Beerus and Broly. But yeah, as far as actual new releases are concerned, that's basically everything. Of course, there's a lot of displays we saw here, like we have, yeah, this is the first time that second form Frieza has been displayed outside of Japan. And here's the third form Frieza display right here. And Namek Saga display here as a whole. Kind of surprised, I mean, I'm gonna say, I'm kind of surprised they didn't have first form Frieza here. Actually, no, it's because it's the Shining Dragon Ball set, so I guess they wouldn't have him, but you know. It'd be interesting to actually have first form Frieza here on display to have all 4 forms, but you know, they have the Shining Dragon Ball set. There's Gohan and Krillin back there, you know. Let's see. Was this just the... Yeah, so here's some more stuff from the booth. This is from the live stream they did today. But yeah, so they did the live stream earlier, and you know, here, let me... I'm gonna... Just, if you want to see all this stuff again, like the live stream and everything, go to their official Instagram. I'm not gonna, like, play that. I'm just gonna, like, go through some of it a little bit. This was the display we saw with Broly and the other two. I kind of like the way Broly looks from, like, other angles, but again, the arms just look disconnected from the rest of the body. Over here, this is where we saw the orange Piccolo on display. Again, looking very bulky, very muscular. A lot of shadowing with the bright lights, but again, we're used to that with, you know, figure displays. There's other images also of the back of the Piccolo figure that does have the Namekian pride symbol with the Ajisa symbol on there. But this was the big thing. With the image of the Dragon Ball superhero line and the 3 mystery figures, they showed this here, mystery reveal, coming out at Tamashii Nation 2022 in a month. I can only assume this is going to be Gohan Beast. I'll be very surprised if it's anything else, anybody other than Gohan Beast, but, you know, hey, I didn't think we were going to see Cheelai Lemo. Maybe I have no credit. Like, maybe I'm just wrong about everything. But, hey, that's what I'm assuming. Gohan Beast. Let's see, I don't even remember. Yeah, we had the Toriyama quotes over here. Oh, this was what I was talking about before, the Toriyama art where he kept the red belt. Very interesting. We had the Cell Max art. Some people were talking about, it would be cool to get a big fig of Cell Max, one of the ones like the Great Ape Ozaru Vegeta scale. I don't know, it'd be very interesting, but I don't know if it'll happen just because if this is a one-off movie villain, I don't see them doing this. Because you'd think they'd do it soon for the hype of the movie, but I feel like that's a lot of money for people to be spending on this. But I feel like if they do it later down the line, it wouldn't sell as well because people won't be caring about Cell Max as much. That's why I don't know if we'll get him as a figure at any point, but it'd be cool. Here we have, yeah, here was the Piccolo and Pan. This Pan, I'm really thinking this will probably either be packaged in with Orange Piccolo or Gohan Beast. Same way, you know, Chaozu was with Ten Shinhan, that kind of thing. Then we have the Piccolo that's already been out. We have Gamma 1 with Gohan and that accessory, the Super Saiyan accessory piece. Big statue. Big stuff. The Purunga. Cell. Was it there a minute ago? Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. The rest of it. Here's a better look at the Cheelai. It's very interesting. Yeah, from here, I guess you can kind of get a better angle of the face. I'd have to do a bit more thinking, or do a bit more looking to see if Cheelai is fully accurate. But something about Lemo really feels like I can tell they got him down. Yeah, I don't know. I think Cheelai seems pretty accurate as well. Either way. So here we have the display of the 3 Brolys, other than the base Broly. We have the original Super Saiyan and Ikari Broly, new event exclusive, and the Berserker Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. You know, I haven't seen these ones yet. So we have, again, the exclusive Broly, the Broly movie Goku and Vegeta. I had the Broly movie Goku. I've always wanted the Broly movie Vegeta. More Broly Goku. Got a lot of Broly stuff, you know, for the exclusive. Product survey. And then we got statues. And this... Oh, okay. Moving past the statues, because despite me releasing the Figuarts News Roundup, I actually only talk about articulated figures. I don't even know how to describe this setup, actually, because we have... Is this just a movie set? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm struggling to think of like the proper way to correlate this. We got Beerus, Whis, Goku, Vegeta, and Golden Frieza. God Goku, Blue Vegeta. The 4 on the left are event exclusives. That's just the original web exclusive Vegeta. He was a web exclusive, right? I think he was. Anyway, there's a second form Frieza, and the rest of the Namek Saga display here. Shining Dragon Ball display. Here we have Gamma 2 with the base Gohan accessories here. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting. I forgot about the Zamasu figure entirely. Oh my... Wow. I completely forgot that we had a Zamasu figure. These are all just premium Bandai ones. I don't want to think about premium Bandai right now. So we have all these premium Bandai figures. I still want the androids. Anything else we got over here? Got Imagination Works, Figurize, premium Bandai again, bigger statues, the massive Shenron that's been at their events. Stuff from Superhero. But yeah, that was basically just me going through that stuff, that reel. That's basically everything I have to talk about as far as, you know, Dragon Ball Figuarts goes at the event. I mean, of course you'll have your other Tamashii Nations related things there, and again, I'll link their Instagram page down below. But yeah, that's basically all I have to talk about. No Naruto this year for me to bring up, but, you know, watch out for that Naruto Figuarts News Roundup sometime. To wrap up my thoughts, I'm just going to quickly go over everything here. Third form Frieza looks pretty cool. Scaling might be off, I don't know. Looks pretty good based off the Broly movie scaling. Orange Piccolo is by far the highlight for me. Can't wait for that to be released. Hoping it's great. Maybe it'll come with Pan. Base Broly, pretty cool that we're getting it. Surprised that we're getting it. Fix the arms. Cheelai, crazy, interesting. Display figure, I don't know if it'll become an actual official release, but, you know, if it does, cool. Lemo, same thing. And that's just second form Frieza. So, yeah, I have no more to say. I wanna finish this. I'm tired. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a good day, good week, good month, good anything, and take care. Please revive my YouTube channel. Peace.